amazing conversation we're about to have. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Living Artist Chat with Sonia Vasquez. Today, Sonia is a painter and a tattoo artist, and I'm sure she has many other talents. Um, and I'm just excited to have her here today. Thanks for joining us. Us, the royal us. And yeah, I've we've been in shows together. I've followed your work for a long time. This is actually the first time I've gotten to speak to you in person in a sense. So I'm always excited get that opportunity. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. So before we came on, I was just asking you how tattooing was going. Sounds like it's going really well.
Yeah, very busy. Very
Yeah,
busy.
that's awesome.
Pretty booked up. Usually I book about a month or so out. But yeah, it's been lovely and wonderful. We just moved to a new shop, so it's much bigger space than what I'm used to, and it's really exciting with more artists and yeah, it's been a great
Nice.
time.
So you have you said you have a bigger shop now. Do you have how many artists do you have in your space?
There are four of us.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
I had to recount because I was like, am I missing somebody? Yeah, there's four of us. So
Yeah,
we kind of combined two shops and moved to a bigger space, which has been great.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, uh, I don't remember what city you were in. Are
Mhm.
you East Coast, West Coast? I know you're in the States.
So Midwest. I'm
Midwest.
in Wisconsin, in Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Okay. So
Hmm.
I'm sort of north of you
Okay.
because Alberta is over oh, now I can't remember the one. It's over one of those
Michigan?
states. Maybe?
Over Michigan,
Or is
maybe?
it
Or
Canada?
Minnesota?
Minnesota, maybe? North Dakota. That's the one. I haven't been
Okay.
to a lot of those places, so it's hard for me to. I've been to Seattle, so I just don't really, yeah, have that context for all the names. So, but yeah, I think it's North Dakota. I might be wrong, but yeah, something like that. Anyways, we're over top of the Midwest, so yeah. So cowboys, do you get a lot of cowboy type things?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
I would say that's more south. I
Okay.
mean, there's definitely that culture here, but
Mhm.
that feels more southern to me, I guess.
Oh, that's all right. That's one thing that people told me when we moved here because BC, where I'm from, is very like West Coast, like very, they call it like the Canadian California.
Okay.
And it's very much that culture, like Seattle kind of culture. And then we came to the province over, and
Hmm.
the culture is all like cowboy stuff. And
Oh,
I was like, oh
interesting.
wow, like
Wow.
really different, very different. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I didn't know Canada had such a like, I mean, I guess it could be true for anywhere,
Mhm.
um but yeah, cowboy stuff in Canada. Hmm.
I know, right? It's weird. It's kind of weird, but yeah, there's a lot of like that kind of culture here in the prairies.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And so what's it like where you're at? Is it very like very are you in a bigger city center or is it very metropolitan?
So it's kind of a smaller city, I would say, compared to like, I'm thinking about like Chicago, Milwaukee type of thing. Um, I think the population's like 35,000. So
Okay.
it's kind of nice because it's not huge.
Mhm.
And so like I don't have to sit in traffic every day or anything like that.
Yeah.
And but it's big enough that there's things going on. It's a very like marina
Okay.
influenced city. They used to build submarines here back during like the World War. So there's a lot of that history here. And so we're like right on the lake, which is beautiful and wonderful.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, that's part of the reason why the owner actually changed shop name to Shipyard, where I work at, uh, because it has that influence of the
Yeah.
city having that um, marine history, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
totally. Very nautical themed. I
Yeah.
feel like that really changes the kind of tattoos that people in the area want. Do you find that that's true? That like your surrounding culture kind of influences what you're working on?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, as I'm sure you know, in tattooing, there's a lot of very much similar things that happen just generally. Um, I don't know if like there's a whole lot of influence based on like where we are really. Um, Maybe some of the like I can think of like the outdoorsy type of stuff is kind of popular here, like hunting, fishing, that type of thing. So I
Hmm.
feel like there's kind of a good amount of that. Um, a lot of people come to me, like a lot of people I see tattoo wise, I would say the most common thing is florals. But I think that happens everywhere.
I think
So,
so. I
yeah.
think that was something I wasn't really prepared for was just the how many flowers
Hmm.
um, come through a tattoo shop,
Oh yeah.
and it doesn't matter whether you're female, male, whatever.
Hmm.
It's all like across that
Right.
gamut. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so
there's been
much.
many times where we've been all in here tattooing and we're all doing flowers. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy to me. That's the one thing that in painting and in drawing, I've never been into. Like I've
Hmm.
never drawn or like I won't say never because you do eventually, but like I never sought that out where there's artists and that's their whole shtick is just flowers, flowers, flowers.
Hmm.
And I think there's just a part of me that has always associated it with the male perspective on women.
Hmm.
And so I just like, like ick. Like flowers kind of like they're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there's something about them being depicted in art all the time with that, I don't know, that male gaze. That just kind of gives me the ick. And I just, so there was part of me that was like, for real, guys, we're just gonna do all these flowers. But
Hmm.
flowers are beautiful on the body, I think.
Hmm.
And I've done some flowers on myself, mostly just to understand
Yeah.
how to tattoo them. And like, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's just it took me a while to get there. Do you feel like there's stuff like that where you're very drawn to certain subject matter across mediums?
Yeah. Definitely. So I kind of fought it a little bit when I started tattooing because I was like, I don't want to just like do the same stuff that I was doing when I was painting. To be, I guess, more clear is that like my painting has always, since I started painting, I've been interested in portraiture and figure and anything more trying to do realistic things, classical painting. And so I kind of, like I said, I kind of resisted it at first when I first started tattooing because I was like, I don't know, like I don't know if I can do that in like tattoo form.
Hmm.
So I kind of went with like my like sort of second love of printmaking and
Hmm.
woodcut. I used to do a lot more printmaking and woodcut like when I was in college, and so I still love doing those styles too, by the way. But
Hmm.
so I was kind of trying to focus more on that, like, when I started tattooing more like woodcut styles, a little bit of like realism stuff, but now I'm more so like yeah, that's what I want to be doing. I want to be
Yeah.
doing, portraiture, figure. I just got to do a dog, and
Ah.
I love doing pets.
Mhm.
That's one thing that I used to like draw and paint a lot for people for commissions.
Mhm.
So I feel like I have a lot of sort of that background knowledge on drawing and painting pets, which really helps translate with tattooing.
Yeah,
Same
absolutely.
for figural or portraiture, things like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess we should like rewind. What was it that took you from painting to tattooing? What was it that drew you that way, or has that always been something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think like ever since I was a teenager, I've like just liked tattoos, been into tattoos. Always kind of been in that sort of like subculture, I guess.
Mhm.
And so I had an apprenticeship when I was 18.
Okay.
I think I was 18. And that lasted for maybe a few months, a year. And it just didn't end up working out because I didn't mesh well with the environment.
Mhm.
It was, I think it's an important thing to talk about is that like for women in the industry, it's used to be and still is quite different at times. Um, at one point I was told, this was a while ago, like years ago, I was told like it's a man's world and you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to acknowledge that things have come a long way for women in the tattoo industry. There's a lot more female tattoo artists, but there was sort of a long road to get where we are now, and there's still more to go.
Mhm.
But anyway, so off the
Mhm.
side tangent. So I had my first apprenticeship when I was 18. I left that, decided to kind of focus more my energy on painting, drawing. Went to school for that, and then I just kind of like was like I kind of want to get back into tattooing. So I reached out to Forrest, who is my mentor, still my mentor. I work under him currently. He's the shop owner, and I had actually known him for several years. So it kind of was like a really good match for us because like he had tattooed me, we knew each other, like we were comfortable with each other. We knew that like it wasn't going to be a bad situation.
Mhm.
And so I think it worked out really nicely, and so I've just been kind of doing it ever since, and it's sort of taken over my whole life.
Well, I hope in a good way. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen your work, and it looks amazing. Like,
thank you.
I really do see that progression through your last apprenticeship with the current mentor. Like, yeah, it's looking really good. Um, it is interesting that you bring that up because I've been in a few shops with quite a few female artists,
Hmm.
and man, do they have some horror stories
Hmm.
of their apprenticeships. And um, yeah, it's pretty. It's a it's a topic that YouTube we'd have to talk in cloaked terms. It
Yep.
would not like it, but yeah,
Yep.
it has been very interesting to see that because it's not like other industries where women broke through those walls generations ago. It's
Hmm.
like maybe just happened in the
It's still
last.
so new. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah. For women in the industry being as common as it is now. Yeah.
mhm. And it's so unregulated. There's a lot of bad people still in this industry where, like, I know there's a few Facebook pages for our area anyway where it's, or at least one that I can think of, where it's talking about predators in the area and like naming them so people won't go and like get tattooed
Mm-hmm.
by these creeps. Um, yeah,
Yep.
it's wild that that even exists still.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
You know. Um, well, what kind of like I know you said you painted for a while. You went to school after your apprenticeship and you painted for a while. Like how long would you say you developed your painterly style? Because that's kind of where I met you. We were I can't remember what show we were both in, but at some point connected with your work.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been painting for quite a while before you went back into tattooing. How long
Yeah.
were you painting for?
I started oil painting when I was 16. Um, but I went to school for it after high school. So I was 18 and then studied for a few years, got my bachelor's degree in painting and drawing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, can you hear the air conditioner? It's really
A little
loud.
bit, yeah. That's
Okay.
okay. I'm glad you're not sweltering. I can still hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I went to school, got a bachelor's in fine art, painting and drawing. Um, and so yeah, I've just kind of been painting ever since. I will say I always like to mention that um I went to kind of just like a state school. And while I really appreciate my education there, and I think it taught me a lot. I like to give credit to like a lot of the artists that I studied with after school, because that's really where I learned way more about like classical painting and drawing. Um, like taking, especially because around that time it was like um, a little after COVID, and everybody was moving things online, which for me, it was like a dream because I could never afford to go to an atelier, and I always wanted to. But everybody was starting to do everything online and teach online. So I did so many different workshops with some really amazing artists. I mean, Alex Venezia, Michael Klein, um, trying to think of a bunch of others. Lewis Carr, anything with their studio. I forget what it's called now. Um, but yeah, I like sought out everything I could about classical technique, painting and drawing, and really worked in that way. Did a lot of time with just drawing, and then um, moved to more painting. I was still painting, but tried to follow sort of what an atelier would do.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really hard to get that atelier kind of experience, I find, unless you're in certain parts of the world. I
Right.
think like Europe or I know there's one in LA, but yeah, not everyone can do that. So that's really cool that you were able to get some of that experience. Um,
Yeah.
and then you said you worked in just commissions and were you working another job at the time that you were doing that?
That I was like after school,
Yeah,
after
like doing
college.
and whatnot.
Um, yeah, so I mean, for a while I was working in like the healthcare mental health field.
Okay.
Um, and while it was like, a really interesting, rewarding job, it is not for me. And I very much um I like having a lot of freedom in my work and in what I do, and my jobs now all do that for me. So I'm much
Mhm.
happier.
Yeah.
I could never be in like a corporate setting or like, um, something that's really rigid. So I did that for a while. And then what did I do after that? I think at that point, a little after that is when I started working for our local museum, art museum, the Raw West Art Museum. It's a historic mansion. turned into an art museum. So it's stunning and beautiful, and I love working there. My coworkers are great,
Hmm.
and so I've been there kind of for about almost 5 years now.
Oh wow,
Um, so yeah, I still do that on top
that's
of
cool.
tattooing, on top of painting, and a few other things. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very diverse like work when you do.
Hmm.
I feel like when you do art, you kind of have to wear so many hats,
Yeah.
you know. Before I came on here, there was a lady on Threads asking like, what should I tell my daughter? She's like going into college, and she doesn't want to do anything artistic, and like, what should I tell her? And it's like, yeah, I don't think I would take courses for that at this point. But like, yeah, don't ever stop making art, because it's not a great like financial choice,
Hmm.
unfortunately. For most people, I think it's
Yeah.
a very like small portion of people who can make a living at being an artist, unfortunately.
Right.
But I think the tattoo industry, especially if you're young, is a great one to get into. Um, but do you find that you feel like your whole day, your whole life is working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I basically don't ever stop. There's like maybe a few hours a day that I'm not working. Yeah.
Yeah.
In some
That's
capacity for one of my jobs. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, because it's like emails or drawing the designs, or it just always
Yep.
there's so much unpaid work time. I think that's
Yep.
one thing people don't realize when they're pursuing tattooing. They're like, man, you people make so much an hour. It's like, okay, but there's hours where I don't get paid, right? Like
Hmm.
hours and hours that you don't pay me for.
Yeah. I mean, not even just, design or answering emails, but also like now you have to be on top of social media pretty much. Like, I mean, at least have some presence on social media to like help keep things going.
Yeah,
So that's a whole other job within itself.
yeah, absolutely. It totally feels like another job.
Hmm.
Um, so what would you say is like a typical day for Sonia?
Um, Typical day is usually gym
Hmm.
and then breakfast and then come to the shop, tattoo for a while, go home, eat dinner, maybe watch a few episodes of Outlander usually. And then my partner goes to sleep and then I work some more when he goes
Yeah.
to sleep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then bedtime at like 11 or something.
Yeah. We'll do it all over again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's great if you can do that when you're young. I think I started it kind of late in life. Um, but yeah, that's great though that you're able to get that good flow. And um, are
I
you
mean, to be honest, I don't know if it's a good flow. It's probably working too much, but,
probably?
but,
I feel like that the world's just set up for that now. Hey,
mhm,
like they're
yeah,
just it's and people just expect you to always be working.
yeah,
Like there's always that hustle culture has just it,
hmm,
it's just permeated everything, it feels like.
right, right.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have an ultimate goal in your artwork? Like, do you feel like there's a goal or like a pinnacle? There's something that you're shooting towards.
Um, I think for tattooing, I would say I would love to eventually like kind of do only the styles that I want to do and be able
Hmm.
to do that. Right now, I can't really do that. I work in a street shop, so it's like we kind of take on a lot of different types of things, and I think part of me really enjoys that because I learn different things by doing different things and have that
Mhm.
experience, and also just being able to do different things sometimes is refreshing.
Mhm.
Um, but I think ultimately it would be really nice to, just have like my specific style that I do that people come to me for, and I'm kind of staying steadily working in that.
Mhm.
Um, I think, I always encourage people to, I think it's surprising the amount of people that like just go to a tattoo artist and they think that every tattoo artist can do everything
Yeah.
or anything,
Uh-huh.
but that's not always the case, and I like encourage
Mhm.
people to like really look at artists and be like, okay, do they fit my style? Are they good at what they do? Like, do they seem like the type of person I want to get a tattoo from?
Mhm.
um, so yeah, but I think, yeah, that would be my ultimate goal for tattooing is getting like, doing my own thing sort of thing.
Mhm.
Um, for painting, um, I don't know. I've been a little bit of like hiatus from painting since tattooing. I've done some painting. I've had to. I've shows. But
Yeah.
um I think I'm honestly pretty happy with like the fact that, especially being with Bean Gallery. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're familiar with them in Australia. But being amongst some of those artists that are in that with that gallery is just like, wow. I'm like so honored that you would have me, because like some of those artists are just absolutely phenomenal that like I
Yeah.
look up to.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, sorry, which gallery was that?
Bein,
Okay.
Bein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know which one you mean. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's some really good galleries on that side of the world, like Australia, New Zealand. There's some
Hmm.
really cool ones over there.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to like go see it in person someday. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yes, without the spiders, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, Australia, keep your spiders.
Yeah. Like cage them up when I come over
Yeah.
there because yeah.
Yeah.
Lord. Yeah, totally. Well, that's great that you've had some work in some great galleries, and um it's such a cool world that you can kind of do all these things and like be connected to all these different galleries and um yeah, I that's one thing that's so wild to me about the art world is it's actually very, very small
Yeah.
in a way.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Definitely.
definitely feels that way. Um,
Especially in like certain um sort of like, I guess, genres of art. Like
mhm,
if you think about like the amount of classical painters, like it's a pretty small
it
small
is.
group.
It is a
Even
very
in,
small group.
yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot it feels like there's a lot of people on the internet that kind of do the same thing, but they don't differentiate themselves. Do you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like there's like an
Yeah.
academic look, but
Yeah.
feels like they're all painting the same stuff. One thing that I like about your work is that it feels very you. Like it doesn't look to me like, well, we're doing these academy paintings now, and we're
Hmm.
painting the live model, and you know, and it's when you see someone's profile and you're like, I've seen this before, and it's all just the same class that's painted the same subject from different points of view, and so that's why it feels so familiar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't feel like your work is like that. I feel like you're very intentional about how you're presenting your work and like what work you're kind of beyond that study phase, which I really appreciate. And it feels like you've got something you're trying to say in your work.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I it's kind of cheesy, but like I think it's like a Salvador Dali quote or something that was about like learning from the masters, and then like now I can't remember it, but it's like learning the rules and then breaking them, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what um I've stuck with me, was like really trying to learn all the rules
Hmm.
of classical or academic painting and drawing, and then doing my own thing with it, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I still feel like I'm always still learning, but I feel like I have a decent grasp on the process and how to, paint or draw a portrait or a figure.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I definitely, I very much appreciate the still the same figure drawings and stuff that you see from all the students of like GCA or something.
Hmm.
Very technically beautiful and well done.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I've always had this sort of want to do something a bit like darker, deeper, moodier vibe to it.
Hmm.
So that's always where I tend to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate that kind of work. It's just that
Yeah.
it's hard when you're following a lot of people on the internet to remember who is who.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's something I really struggle with is even when you're talking about the gallery, I'm like, it sounds familiar, but there's so many galleries to follow. It's hard
Right.
to remember
Mm-hmm.
who is who, what is what, and
Right.
I guess that's why that becomes so important to like have your own voice
Yeah.
um, in your work.
Yeah. There's those people that, really stick out and
Hmm.
stick with you type of thing.
Yeah, definitely, and like yeah, that's a hard one to do, right? To really to yeah, just I guess they call it stay top of mind, right? In
Mm-hmm.
the marketing world. And it's
Especially on
yeah.
social media. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's tricky to do. It's tricky to make work that resonates not just with yourself, but with so many other people too. Um, I think it is after making work like a lot of work. That's what I've found. Something can feel very special to you, maybe to the person who's commissioning you, but it's hard to make work resonate on like that large scale without
Mm-hmm.
it, yeah, but without it being too amorphous, you
Right.
know, too
Right.
general, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, I don't know. That's just something. um, so you're talking about mental health, and how it's definitely rewarding work, but not for everybody. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it can be very draining.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but have you found that your artwork has helped you kind of, I guess, keep a healthy mental health like kind of life? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
words and stuff. I haven't
No
totally
worries.
finished my
I get
coffee.
I get what you're meaning.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's a give and take, but it's an overall, yes, it definitely helps mental health wise for me.
Hmm.
Some days it's like if I feel like, oh man, like I could have done better on that tattoo, or like a painting is just not going the way that you want it to. It's like your whole world is crumbling. But um
That's
but
fair.
I would say generally, um painting and tattooing and being able to do that, just just being able to be here and to exist in the shop and do it is so rewarding, and like I'm just so thankful for it. That it's like I think it's one of those things where like I can just like totally zone in and hyper focus and like get to like a flow state um with tattooing and with painting. So like a lot of times I'll just like be in it and then not realize that hours have gone by. And I think that's really good for me mentally, because then it's not like I'm just like I feel like I always have like a zillion tabs open and all over the place. So I think it like helps my mind rest
Mhm.
for a while. Um, and I think just being able to be in creative industry is very good for mental health in
Mhm.
a lot of different ways. Um, and I think I wish more adults would do creative things. I know, like, as in one of my other jobs, I'm a art instructor,
Mhm.
and I see it a lot where like you have adults that are very embarrassed or like
Mhm.
hesitant to pursue anything art related because they feel like they don't have the skill. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I just wish everybody could kind of do things and not feel like they're being judged because of how well it's done, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, and that might be true. They might not have this the skill that they think they should have. It doesn't mean that that precludes or like excludes you from making art, right? Like,
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of different skill levels. I've seen people, I know you've seen people who have like massive followings, and I would say the skill level is like if your skill level's here, their skill level is there. But they're making it, they're making the work, they're marketing it like it's
Mhm.
here, and like I don't care, and i'm
Yeah.
i'm for it. I'm like, go for it, dude, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm glad that you feel that way about your work, that you're just motoring on. But yeah, I see this. I work at a pottery studio. It's like a paint your own pottery place,
Okay.
part time, and I see this all the time there, where adults will come in and they'll say, "Well, I'm not creative." So
Mhm.
all day long, people say that, and then they
Mhm.
go and they paint some pottery that proves them so wrong. And you're like, you're gonna prove yourself wrong by the end of this time that you're here, and I think it's just it's within everybody, right?
Mhm.
To make to
Yeah,
be.
I mean, I always say like it's so crazy because, as like toddlers, like if you
Mhm.
think about a toddler, you hand them some crayons and they're like just so free and uninhibited, like creating artwork, and somewhere along the lines we kind of lose that, which
Mhm.
is unfortunate.
Well, I think tattooing, or when you talk about like things that have been around forever, tattooing, pottery, painting. I mean, these are primal things. These are things that have
Mm,
been around since the dawn of humanity. We've been
right.
doing them forever.
Hmm.
It's not new. Um, we still have pottery from people that haven't lived for thousands of years. We found tattoos on people that are mummified. You know, like these are such old things, and they're just part of that human story.
Right.
I can't I can't envision people without those things. You know, like to think that they're inaccessible, you know, like the caveman, cavewoman family, they weren't like, oh man, I don't have the skill to paint my walls. You know,
Hmm.
they didn't care. They weren't
Hmm.
like, oh, someone's gonna take a picture of this and be like, what a loser. You know,
Hmm.
they can't draw a deer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's such an old thing, and I don't know. I see what you mean. Like I kind of there are people in my life that I wish they'd gotten into art over the things they did get into,
Mhm.
because they're not with me anymore, right? They're not here anymore. And it's like, I wish that instead of you trying to kill your pain, I wish you'd gone out and expressed it,
Mhm.
or dealt with it, or like, you know, something, anything but what you did.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I wish that every day, that they'd gotten into art. And it doesn't have to be something that you make money at. If it helps you solve yourself.
Right. Right. And
Yeah,
that's worth a lot more than monetary value.
absolutely. I'm glad I got into art. I feel like it's helped kind of see what I'm thinking, you know? I can
Yeah.
kind of, oh yeah, like kind of like dream interpretation is similar, where you can kind of see, oh, this is what this means to me, and kind of
Sure.
excavate yourself. Um, I found it very handy
Yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like with a lot of my paintings, part of like my process is definitely like doing research.
Hmm.
Um and even if that's like, if it's maybe there's more personal experience to it, there's still usually always some sort of research because I like to be like I would say like quiet symbolism.
Hmm.
So although like maybe the general viewer is not going to see what I meant for them to see or something, at least I know it's there, and that's for me. Um, if somebody else gets it, they get it, and that's cool. Um, but I think, part of my own lived experience definitely influences my paintings to a
Mhm.
good degree. But there's still always that sort of reading academic papers side of it too.
Yeah. What kind of
Yeah.
academic papers do you find inspire your work?
So lately my body of work has been I did a show in Madison, Wisconsin, um, that I started to do work for, and it was all surrounded by witchcraft in Europe, America, and well, the US, and in Mexico, and kind of looking at all those different sort of witchcraft, witch trials, historically and contemporarily,
Mhm.
and taking influence from all those things. So I've kind of still been working in that theme, because I don't feel quite finished with it yet.
Mhm.
So I'm continuing to work in that. So I've been trying to read a lot more academic papers in terms of like witchcraft in Mexico. Mainly because I'm Mexican, but I don't speak Spanish. So it would be a lot easier if I could read things in Spanish, because I'm
Right.
sure I'd have like way more information by now. Um, but I have to try to find papers in English about um, Mexican witchcraft and history and
Mhm. Yeah.
current. Yeah.
So you say you don't speak it. Have you tried to learn to speak Spanish or read Spanish?
Yeah, I was learning for a while with someone, but then just kind of got busy and that sort of fell to the side.
Mhm.
Um, So I do like know and understand a little bit, but not enough
Mhm.
to read an academic paper
Yeah,
in
no, that's
Spanish.
fair. That's
um,
totally fair.
and so my dad's from Mexico, and he speaks Spanish, but he was a truck driver growing up, so
Okay.
he was always away and was not able to teach us. And
Right.
my mom is very Wisconsin German, so she
Okay.
doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, a little bit here and there picking up on things, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. Like I always found learning another language very difficult. Even when I was a kid. Yeah. Uh, Kudos to you if you're able to pick up another language. I've always found it hard. I'm just happy that I can kind of speak English. Like, I can kind of speak English. I can kind of read English. I think I'm good. I think that's as far as we're gonna go.
Do they speak French where you are?
No,
No.
no
Okay.
one on this side of Canada speaks French.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Um,
know, honestly, I'd probably be able to speak French better than I can speak
okay.
Spanish. Yeah,
Okay, that's all
I
right.
studied French in high school, and that has stuck with me way more. So,
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Well, I shouldn't say nobody. I mean, people have the ability to, but
yeah.
really, like French Canadian, that whole French Canadian thing is really
Hmm.
only in Montreal and
Okay.
Ontario, and so they're kind of like the seat of government.
Uh,
Whereas, uh, yeah, they're very far away from here. It'd probably take me like a week of just driving during the day to like get over to where they are.
wow.
So it's very Canada's huge, right?
Yeah.
So no, Western Canadians don't speak French at all unless they like have to because they work for the government.
I feel like maybe I knew that from Letterkenny.
Okay.
Have you
I don't
watched
think
that?
I know. I don't know. What was it? Sorry.
Letterkenny?
Okay. I'm not familiar.
It's
Yeah.
a show. It's Canadian, very Canadian, but it resonates very heavily with being a Wisconsinite because it's like very similar, like
Okay.
culture.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Um, I think that Wisconsin probably is closer to Ontario. I
okay,
would,
yeah. I
and
think so.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so Ontario is like East Coast, Ontario, and then Montreal, and then it's Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. So I'm in Alberta right now, and then BC is on that West Coast line,
Hmm.
West Coast area. So I grew up in BC, and we're living like in a prairie province now, but we're super far away. Like it's days and days and days of driving away from the East Coast area. So um it's such a vast country.
Hmm.
Like it's so huge. I know the states is big too, but you guys have a lot of states
Hmm.
within the same kind of range. Hey,
Hmm. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. uh, yeah, it's wild. The language thing is wild. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to speak French too. My brain wouldn't work like that. Actually, one thing that was cool because everything here, all the products are bilingual. So like if
Ah.
you buy well, actually, the bottle. So you buy a product, right? So it'll be in English. It'll be in English, but it'll also be in French. So
Okay.
it was weird. Like when I did go to Montreal, um, I could read everything. Like I couldn't speak it, but I could
Hmm.
read all the signs that were that had like fruit names in them and like that were like food related. I was like, I know what a palme is. Like it's so bizarre. Yeah, just from like labels on food products. So
Hmm.
that part was kind of weird. Like you don't realize how subliminal some of that is until
Right.
you until you confront it somewhere else. But yeah, so that was weird. But anyways, back to art. If you want to go down rabbit holes, I will. Unfortunately, uh, yeah. But so like ultimate goal for you as an artist, would you want to be able to tattoo how you can paint?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot more recently, actually. Because right now, well, I should say I started out not doing any color,
Mm-hmm.
um, and not really wanting to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like slowly kind of easing into it. My mentor always gave me crap for it because he's like, "You're a painter and you don't want to paint in color, or you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
tattoo in color." And I was like, "No." um, but I'm slowly easing into it. And the thought of being able to do more painterly style tattoos would be really cool. So I kind of see it as like similar to ateliers and how like um the first 1 to 2 years is like drawing, and then the next 1 to 2 years is you get to actually paint.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of creeping up on maybe my third year of tattooing. So I feel like it's kind of more time to
Yeah,
start doing a little bit more color.
and yourself.
Right now I do a little bit here and there. I'm kind of picky about what I'm willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I've been trying to get my partner to let me do like a small painterly like tattoo on him, like inspired by some painting. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so just kind of like pushing him to let me do that, but we'll
Nice.
see.
Yeah. What kind of thing are you looking to do?
um So I sent him a few things. I would really like to do one that's like I think something that would translate pretty well would be like like Dutch floral paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if you know like Carlo Russo, like he does those very similar Dutch floral paintings, but he's a contemporary artist.
Mm-hmm.
Um
So very dark
so
backgrounds, and then kind of like the punchier colors in kind of a
mhm,
dark, moody sort of
yeah.
situation, like a still life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially those like Dutch flowers, tulips that are like
Mm-hmm.
red and white.
Yeah.
Um, I really want to do one of those. So I think
Mm-hmm.
um, that would be that's something that I really want to try is just like flowers because I feel like it would be a good um, like middle step between like doing something that's a bit more technically challenging versus like a flower in color.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I did also suggest to him some paintings that were like of like night helmet with like books, still
Yeah.
life type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And are there certain pigments that you have found were harder to apply than others? Because I've done some color work, and I really found that there were certain colors that were very hard to, like the white. I'm thinking of the white in those tulips, in the variegated tulips with
mhm,
the red and the white.
mhm,
Um, I did one tattoo, and this was like when I didn't have a mentor at the time, but I did like a Jaws tattoo on my husband, and yeah, applying that white, it just did not stay. And I did all the things that I thought was right to do, that people had told me to do, but for whatever reason it didn't stay. So there's like definitely That's one of the things I think, and this is something I was told by another tattoo artist. She's like, um, tattooing will humble you. It,
Hmm.
it will always humble you, because you're dealing with something that's alive. You're not just like every body is different, and so
Hmm.
your canvas isn't static. So have you found that applying colors can be difficult? Is that why you didn't want to do it at first?
I think the biggest challenge that I was thinking about in terms of doing color was that, like, I'm sure, as you know, as a painter, you probably use like the same brand oil paint, the same general palette all the time. So you,
Mm-hmm,
like, those colors. You know what they do, you know how they interact with each other. Like, you know how they look when you add more solvent or don't.
mm-hmm,
Um you know how they look layered, whatever. And I think the same is true for tattoo pigments, is like,
mm-hmm.
I have no idea how that color is going to heal. I, like, I don't know if I like put a little bit of yellow on top of a green, like, is it going to give me the similar sort of tone to what I would experience, painting?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's my biggest hesitation, is that, like, I don't know how things are going to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Things look different fresh. In terms of like colors getting into the skin, green is always really hard to get into the skin,
Mm-hmm.
especially because when you start to bleed, then it starts to look like nothing's there,
Yeah.
because the red and the green are sort of interacting together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so green is always kind of hard to get in. White can be, I've found that with white, I've always been told get in and get out sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, kind of slow, getting in there, like taking your time, making sure it's in there, and then get out. Try not to doing too many layers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I think, yeah, the hang up with color is just I need to get to know my palette. I do have, all right there is Empire inks.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
so the thing that I really like about Empire is, for one, they're local. They're
Yes.
from Appleton, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're very well known. A lot of tattoo artists use them.
Mm-hmm.
But they do everything, like, kind of inspired by painting and art.
Mm-hmm.
Colt, the owner, he's a painter himself as well. So, like, all those colors are named after paint colors, and
Oh
they're
wow.
like
This
general
is exactly
palette.
okay. This was
Yeah.
like something that I was always bitching about. Yeah, I was like, I hate that they call them like fairy red or like all these like names that mean nothing. I'm like,
Hmm.
why wouldn't you base them on the pigment that
Right.
is in there? Like, so I
Exactly.
can no, yeah, no,
Hmm.
that's really cool. Actually, I'm excited about that because
Yeah.
that was something I was constantly complaining about.
Yeah. So even like we have like burnt umber,
Oh, well, that's
uh,
cool.
yellow ochre. So, I mean,
Huh.
obviously, even amongst paint brands, like, those colors change, but
Yeah,
but
definitely.
this is it, this at least, like, like, I know what yellow ochre, um,
Hmm.
generally looks like with a burnt umber, so, like, I feel like it gives me a little bit more context,
Yeah,
coming into color with having these specific colors.
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's so hard too because it's so dependent on how that person's skin is
Hmm.
going to heal with those colors. Like skin, for those who don't know, skin works kind of like a lens that we see that color through. So, like my skin has a very yellow, um, lean. So everything under my skin is always going to have kind of that more yellowish, greenish hue to it. And so, in a way, do you find that you kind of have to adjust what pigments you would put under different skin tones depending on their pigmentation?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't done all that much color, so I'm not
Hmm.
super versed in it. Um, but I was just talking to somebody about this like yesterday, actually. Um, we were talking about color, and she has a little bit of a deeper skin tone.
Hmm.
And she's like, I'm not sure if these colors would show up well on me. And I was like, well, I think more pastel leaning, like a pastel purple, is probably not going to be as great as like a more vibrant bright purple where like it has a little bit more punch to it.
Hmm.
I think would show up better. Um, but I have thought about that, the thing with you talking about like undertones
Hmm.
and people's undertones. I know that there are some artists that um do get into like that nitty gritty of that. And there like I know there was just like I was looking at I think a gray wash set that was like specific to people that had like warmer um like a slightly like medium skin tones.
Hmm.
They were more like it leaned more blue so that
Right.
it would like have more contrast on those skin
Mhm.
tones,
And that's
which I
always what
think
I
is
ask
really
on
interesting.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that you would have to lean cooler if you wanted to like create a green under my skin tone or your skin tone, because I feel like we have a similar complexion. Like
Hmm.
you would need to kind of go cooler for it to complement the skin. Something that I've noticed a lot with when you do have like a not a, you're not very fair for it seems like unfortunately a lot of people get very very dark tattoos and it
Hmm.
doesn't look good over time.
Yeah.
um and yeah, so I think for me whenever I think about color, getting a color tattoo, I'm like I'd really have to go with someone who knows what they're doing because I don't
Mm.
want to end up with something that's so dark and looks murky under my skin. Like I won't why even get tattooed with color if it's going to look like a muddy hot mess,
Right.
you know, a few years down the road.
Hmm. Yeah. I always said like I don't. I mean, I've never really wanted color tattoos to begin with, but I think there are like a select few tattoo artists that I would actually get a color tattoo from. um, and that's probably
That's
never going to
true.
happen anyway. So, um,
Yeah, I've never had the
but
money to get
yeah.
those people to tattoo
Hmm.
me, but
Hmm.
definitely if I got a windfall, I know who I'd call.
Right. Right.
There would be signs, and it
Yeah.
would be like a sleeve, a color sleeve. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure
Hmm.
you've got a lot of really good people in your area, being that you're in the States. I feel like there's a lot more artists in the States than here.
Really?
I think so. Maybe
That's
that's just a
interesting.
perception, but I think it's like because you have a higher population.
Okay.
Maybe not in your specific area, but in the States in general, I feel like you have more tattoo artists.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people talk about it being oversaturated here. Um I don't really I don't think I feel that as much. Um Partially because like I make it very much a point to like not want it to feel like a competition with other artists.
Yeah.
I try not to think about it that way. But um I do think maybe there's maybe could be more here just because it's uh I don't know, maybe more readily available, I guess, but it's still always kind of
Hmm.
hard to get into tattooing, I think.
Absolutely.
Um but also just I think more interest and money and
Probably.
stuff too.
Yeah.
But I would say honestly here in the city that I'm in, there's really not a whole lot. We have 3 shops within the city, and
Okay.
I think it's about 4 or 5 shops within the county.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's I mean, it's a good amount for the size of the city, I
Yeah.
think,
Hmm.
but it doesn't ever feel like nobody has work, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's
Everybody's
good.
always got work, so yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I know. So where I live, it's like I live 20 minutes out of a bigger city. So Red Deer is not the biggest city around here for sure. But it's like 70, 80, some maybe 100,000 people. There's tons of shops. But when so Alberta's like a bust and boom kind of province. So when the oil is doing really well, everybody does well.
Mhm.
Everybody in the country does well. But because we're in a bust sort of situation economically, a lot of people have kind of been out of work in general, and
Okay.
so yeah, it's really kind of reflected how the tattoo industry here has been kind of going too, where it has been more of a struggle, I think, for a lot of shops to have that constant work, to keep the doors open. Because I think it's hard to have a brick and mortar anything these days.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of where things are at here, and hopefully that'll improve in the future. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's one of my biggest fears is like, okay, I have gotten used to being this busy and living on this income. Like, what
Mhm.
happens if all of a sudden that's not happening anymore?
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like, what if people just stop booking with me? That would be terrifying.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. And but it is tricky because you're not an employee.
Hmm.
You're basically like a subcontractor typically, right? You're
Hmm.
not actually being employed and paid by the shop. You're
Hmm.
kind of just subcontracting through the shop, and that was something I noticed in the tattoo industry. There's some people who do amazing, and then there's some people that are just it's harder to get started. It's an expensive industry to get into.
Hmm.
At least here in Canada, I don't know if that's the same in the States, but I find it's like the machines are expensive, the needles are expensive. Like it's not it's pricey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say, thinking about me just starting out and I wasn't like making a whole lot of money on tattoos, um, it would have been really hard for me to be able to afford all the supplies that I would have needed. Like as part of my apprenticeship, like my mentor paid for supplies, and I mean I had paid for my apprenticeship, but
Right.
so technically I paid for some of that,
Yeah.
but he really fronted the cost of a lot of things,
Hmm.
and I don't think I would have been able to have access to all the things that I had access to without that, for
Hmm.
sure.
So when you were pursuing this apprenticeship, and you were approaching it, um, was there like things that you were looking for, things that you were hoping to get out of it? Like you said, you paid for it, so there
Mhm.
must have been some sort of agreement, like you wanted to. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I think a lot of people would be curious
Mhm.
to know what a good apprenticeship is. How much should they be thinking of paying for this? What kind of setup should they be looking for? Those sorts of things. if you don't mind sharing that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy to. I will say though, like first and foremost, that every apprenticeship is not gonna look the same. The amount of money it costs, how your mentor goes about doing things, like I guarantee you, like no one person really has the same type of apprenticeship unless like you have somebody that's like kind of rolling them through, and doing something similar with every apprentice that they have. But
Mm-hmm.
um, for me personally, it was um, I over time paid 6,000
Mm-hmm.
for the apprenticeship, and I did that through, in part, paying it off through like doing things at the shop, like set up and breakdown for my mentor, like when he was working, and that also like taught me just about setting up and breaking down.
Yeah.
Um,
Cleanliness.
yeah,
Which is huge.
um, right, and so there was that. Then once I actually like started tattooing, we did percentages. So he took a percentage until I paid it off. And then eventually coming here now, instead of a percentage, we're doing just a rent. But
Mm-hmm.
with the apprenticeship, um, I think so. My partner actually bought my machine for me, because I really wanted a bishop. So that's what I ended up getting. Um, and so I started kind of on just like fake skin for a while, doing some of that. The one thing I will say is that fake skin is like so different than real skin. So sometimes
It
I'm
did
like,
not prepare me.
right?
Let's just
Like
put
I
it
don't
that way.
I'm not really sure why we do this, but I mean, I guess it helps in terms of like getting some idea of like holding the machine because
Yeah.
that's a whole thing in itself. Is
Yeah.
like, when you have a few years of tattooing under your belt, there's things that you just like don't think of anymore that you
Mm-hmm.
do that are like to the average person is like, how would I do this? Keeping, trying to do a straight line, drawing squares, drawing circles with the machine, feeling different weights with the machine, like if you have a heavier grip on your machine or, a disposable one or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just, and then with the apprenticeship, also just learning everyday stuff, by just kind of being there,
Mm-hmm.
interacting with clients, setting up appointments, keeping track of inventory and what you need, um, learning like, you know, where you want to buy things from,
Mm-hmm.
um, stencils. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All of that
there's so
stuff.
much that you learn in the apprenticeship, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll also, I guess, mention too that, and apprenticeships are kind of different time wise depending on the person, usually, well, the people involved. So, I don't, there might be mentors out there that are strictly like, this is going to be 2 years and that you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be apprenticing, and that's what it is. And then there are some people that are like, it's going to take as long as it kind of takes that person to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think for me, coming in with a lot of art background, that significantly helped, because it's different than like coming into tattooing with like not knowing what composition is or like not knowing contrast or
Mm-hmm.
um like some of those kind of basic art
Basics.
elements.
Mm-hmm.
So having a lot of that background really helps accelerate things for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And drawing for sure. Drawing is a huge thing because it's so similar to tattooing,
Mm-hmm.
in many ways.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
drawing is the cornerstone of it. It's like
Hmm.
It's like when you take your drawing and you transpose it onto your painting, and people are like, that's cheating. And I'm like, it's not. You're going to find out it's not as soon as you start painting
Mm-hmm.
my drawing on this panel. Like, if you can't draw, you can't paint, you can't tattoo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's such an important skill to develop. Um,
Yeah, the amount of times that that I mean, and that people can lose part of your stencil midway through and you can't re-stencil it.
no,
You have to use drawing skills for that. Um,
you
I
do.
use comparative measurement all the time
Uh,
for tattooing.
yeah, absolutely. And um, tattooing's just tattooing's a very humbling practice because there's so much of that happening on the fly that you just have to kind of, roll with the
Mm-hmm.
punches and do it right the first time. That's hard. That's hard as an oil painter when you can paint over it like a bazillion times.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that like that really kind of messed
Yep.
with your head?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think even with some of the color stuff that I've done, I'm like, oh, like, can I, somewhat blend this when there's already something there? And it's
Mm.
like, not really. Like, there's certain things you can do that are similar to painting, but
hmm
um, definitely, definitely not everything that you can do with painting. I can't
hmm
just take a wipe and wipe some of
And
that
like,
out.
no, I didn't like that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
like, I found the last few paintings I've done, I have wiped the face clean like 4 or 5 times because I'm like, I'm not happy with it. I'm gonna redo it. I'm not happy with it. You can't do that. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do. It is there.
Yep.
um, but I just wanted to ask you again about like the mentor side.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things that your mentor has done for you that you think is exceptional or has helped propel your practice? Like, if you did a tattoo, would you sit down afterward and kind of talk about it, deconstruct it? Like, what is it that you feel like your mentor has done that was like, that helped you get to where you are?
Um, so I think a lot of watching him, being able to watch him helped, just seeing how he does things.
hmm
Um, Even like talking over tattoos with him, like before I do things, I still do that.
hmm
Like he's especially good with like figuring out cover-ups, and sometimes I'm like, I don't like there's too much happening. So I'm
yeah.
like, I go to him all the time for like advice on stuff. um I think one of the things that's not like necessarily specific to tattooing, but like one of the things that he did I think was like really trust me and where I'm at and going at like my pace sort of thing.
hmm
Um, I'm, I think I'm not like trying to flex, but like I think I'm like a very self-sufficient person. So like
hmm
I like to like kind of do things sort of on my own,
hmm
and like, progress as I need to. And I think I'm kind of aware enough of, for the most part, like where I'm falling short and where I need to progress.
hmm
Um, and I think he really gave me a lot of breathing room to be able to do that, and work that way, and also like, really be there if there was something that was really challenging for me, and talking
hmm
through it and working through it for sure.
hmm
Yeah.
So, do you feel like him having that confidence in you gave you confidence in you in a sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I the funny thing is like, okay, so a lot of I mean, I guess not a lot, but like a good amount of people around the city like know that I'm a painter, know that I'm like an art person, right? So
Mhm.
when I first got into tattooing, everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're going to be such an amazing tattoo artist because you
Mhm.
know you can paint like this or you can draw like this, whatever." And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, so it was like it felt like a lot of pressure to like be this amazing tattoo artist out the gate, and it's
Absolutely.
just it's such like we were talking about, it's there's a lot of things that are similar, but there's a lot of things that are like very different.
Yes,
So so it's definitely still, still a learning curve. I like
absolutely.
I've said, I feel like I'm still constantly learning all the time.
Well, and I don't know. I think that that's a good thing,
Yeah.
and it's I know I talked to this one artist that was in my shop that I absolutely love, and she's an incredible artist, and just like been tattooing for 12 years, I think, or she has about 12 years of tattooing under her belt,
Hmm.
and she does all kinds of stuff, but she has a lot of color realism, and just watching her tattoo, I was like, man, like this is amazing, you're incredible. And she she still works on the older machines because that's what she trained in,
Oh,
right?
the
A lot of
quail.
people, yeah, like now don't use coils, they'll
Hmm.
use the pen style machines, or whatever. And she wanted to get into that. She actually has a back injury right now because tattooing, unfortunately. So I was really, when you said you go to the gym, I was like, yes, good for you.
Yeah,
Don't stop.
the amount that the gym and weightlifting has helped with tattooing is insane.
Oh,
Like
that's
being able to hold your own body up well,
mhm.
it makes a huge difference.
It does make a huge
Yeah.
difference, and
Yeah.
especially as you get older, like
Hmm.
I don't think she would care if I said this. She's like 38, 37, 38. She has two herniated discs.
Oh no.
So she's been out of work for I think 3 months now. I
Oh.
absolutely love her. She's amazing. It's so hard though when you've made your whole life about your work and about
Hmm.
being an artist and being a tattoo artist, and it's such a very competitive industry. Um, and then having that rug kind of pulled out from under you because of your health. And
Hmm.
it's something that I've seen, especially with female artists as they approach that middle age, because as women, like we change, our bodies are doing crazy things, as opposed to the male counterparts where they don't have that same like hormone level change at this age.
Hmm.
So a lot of women I know have autoimmune issues, and they have, other health issues. And like when you combine that with a stressful industry, I've seen that quite a few times with my close friends where it's like really pulled the rug out from under their practice, and just decimates your sense of self-worth, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, also I've noticed the female artists that I've had the pleasure of getting to know are really resilient and have this superpower of like being able to talk about all of it and not bottle it up, and so that's been great. But so I applaud you. Continue your weightlifting, because like you're investing in your future. When you're always hunched over, a body all day.
Hmm.
And that's something I was saying to her. I'm like, you've shrimped your back all the way to, you
I love
know,
those memes about us all being like shrimps.
yeah,
I think it's
because it's so
hilarious.
true. It's just
Hmm.
so true, unfortunately. But
Hmm.
oh, and I was talking about how great she was with color, but she was telling me like that was something. She's like, you know what, every single tattoo I'm constantly learning, like I want to learn how to use these new machines, I want to learn how to use these new colors, like, everything's changing so fast in the industry. It's not like other industries where it stays pretty standardized for 10, 20 years. It's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. Styles are constantly changing, and so that learning curve is there for
Mm-hmm.
you for, even if you've been into it for ever.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So I know you have another appointment coming up. Am I right on the
It
time?
was it was at 1 o'clock, but it was actually canceled, so
Oh, I'm
we
sorry.
got time.
Okay. Okay, and yeah, my clock died. I have like an analog clock, and so I have to buy batteries for it. And I was like, oh no, I don't know what time it is.
I
Yeah,
have
but
11:30 our time, my time.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. So like, do you have so other than like the painting thing? Okay, I gotta ask this because there are some people who um I'm thinking of Deanna, in you know who that is. Like, she was like an ink master and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um and she was a painter, and then she went into tattooing. And maybe you can give me your take on this because she uses like a brown warm undertone, like underpainting, and then she builds from there, builds her tattoo work from there. Do you think, because I've read that brown and warm colors are very transient in the skin. Do you think that that is something you would do for your own work? Would you start with like an underpainting, or would you just like, how are you thinking of building that, coming from your own painting experience to tattooing? Do you have like a theory on the color?
Um, I definitely have thought about it because my process is very much like underpainting with burnt umber
Mhm.
and then layers upon layers of, other color.
Yeah.
So I've thought about it, about like doing an underpainting type of thing. I feel like I don't know if she does it, like, I don't know, maybe if she does it like every tattoo that she does or
Mm.
not. But I know that big back piece that she just posted, um, that she was talking about losing the competition and she did it in like
Mm.
3 days. It was like butt to neck.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I know she did that one, um, with like the underpainting type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I'm wondering if she does it just um as a means of like, like when you do a bigger tattoo, sometimes you just do the outline first and then,
Yeah.
in another session you'll do color, shading, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering if like it's partially for that reason, partially for the reason of having an underpainting
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. Um So in that regard, I think if I was doing like a smaller tattoo, I don't think I would do that.
Yeah.
Maybe like somewhat of an outline, like a almost like a bloodline with a brown or something, if I needed to. But yeah, I think with a smaller tattoo, I feel like maybe it wouldn't make as much sense, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know either. I've done a few different mentorships now, and my first one was with someone who is incredible at color, and she told me only black will survive. And then I've done another mentorship with someone who had a more illustrative style, and again, he was saying only black will survive. Um, So when I'm thinking about longevity, and I know with oil painters, this is huge. Your piece being archival, so it's like it's hard for my brain to kind of take on this idea of like using a transient pigment in something that's going to be very permanent.
Hmm.
Um, so that's where I would struggle going into color and like using the brown, but it seems like Deanna's very confident about this. It's like none of her pieces are 20 years old, 50 years old, right? And
In that style, I think, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's like it's hard to know what you would do, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
yeah.
the same as like people talking about some fine line and realism and like micro realism stuff is like you have people on one side of the coin that are like that's just gonna look like crap years down the road, and then some people are like there are good examples of things that have lasted a long time. So I think it's just for me it's kind of like it's like having a conversation with your client and being like, hey, just so you understand, this tattoo is very likely going to need a touch up, or if we do it this way, there's a good chance that it, you know, over several years, it's just gonna mush together. Um, and some people are okay with that, you
Yeah.
know? Some people are okay with like, I'm fine with it looking cool now and looking like a blob later. Like, then I'm like, more power to you. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not gonna tell you really like what to put on your body.
Mhm.
So, um, I think, um, I think at this point, like I've always, one of the things that I've read, but um, just based on experience too, as well as like, I pretty much always expect that a tattoo could use a cover up. Like it might still look good,
Mhm.
but like me in my like, I'm like the type of person that's like, okay, we're almost done. No, we're not. Okay, we're almost done. like, like just a little bit more of that, just a little more of that. Like, I
Yeah.
have a hard time like finishing. I
Mhm.
promise to any potential clients out there, I do finish, and it's fine. But sometimes it's kind of going back in and just tweaking little things.
Mhm.
But so I think in my like, you know, my I guess artistic eye is like I see the flaws that are in whatever I make, whether that be
Mhm.
painting or tattoos. So like even if I, you know, am happy about how like I can think of one tattoo that I did on someone's calf and it's of an eye, and I felt really good about that tattoo. It's healed. It still looks good, but like
Mhm.
I would love to like give it a little bit more punch of contrast because things have lightened up.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, there's things like that where it's like, yes, that tattoo is gonna last and it's gonna hold, because it's black and gray and whatever.
Mhm.
But there's, you know, it's still kind of like I'm looking at it as the artist and being like, I would like to do this X, Y, and Z, but most people are
Mhm.
not looking at it that way. You
Yeah.
know, they're looking at it and they're seeing a nice eye tattoo. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Absolutely. And it's, I mean, that's always going to be, I think that's like acquiring the eye for things, right?
Hmm.
And I know I have tattoos that people, I have an eye tattoo actually on the back of my calf.
Oh, nice.
But it's like the substance eye where the pupils are all like going everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that
I
movie.
think so. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like the pupils all like mutated.
Hmm.
Um, I can't see it. So to me, it's like whatever. But my friend who did it, he's like, well, we should really touch up the black. Like, and I think because of the way I typically sit, I'll sit on my leg. And while it was healing, it was like, oh, don't do that. So there was a lot of like it like the scab coming off
Mm.
on because I was just the way I was sitting. Um, but yeah, I can't see the black that fell out. So to me, it's like, oh, I would have to have time. I would have, right? Like you think of it differently when it's on you. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have a few like works in progress that I started on my own thigh. And the thought of going back over them, I'm like, I just don't want to,
Right.
like I feel like, and I don't know, was this a thing for your apprenticeship? Did you have to tattoo yourself before you could tattoo anyone else?
No, I
No.
didn't have to, but I did
Okay.
several times. Yeah.
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 I was told I had to tattoo myself, or I wasn't allowed to move on to
I mean,
tattoo.
there are tattoo artists that don't have any tattoos.
I know.
So, which
That's
is wild
wild.
to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think whatever, people, you can do whatever you want to do, but like, you learn so much from having tattoos and being tattooed and tattooing
Mhm.
yourself. Like some, I just go to conventions sometimes just to get tattooed by other people and like learn how they do it, you know?
Mhm.
Um, I think
And
there's
learn
so
the
much,
experience.
yeah, and the healing, the aftercare, like you've never experienced what it feels like to have an itchy as heck tattoo, um, like in the middle of the
Yeah.
night, and like,
Gee.
what do you do?
Yeah.
Or like, it's scabbing weird, like
Mhm.
without having some of those experiences, I don't know. I mean, obviously
Mhm.
people can do it and they can do it just fine, but that's I think there's a lot to learn from being tattooed and, as a tattoo artist.
I agree. I kind of think of it like you're making the food, but you're not eating it.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
something sus about it. I think to even though I get it, it's your body and maybe you're saving. I know I feel like I'm saving this arm for one day when I can get the perfect thing done. But at the same time, it's like if I was going to a tattoo artist and they didn't have any tattoos, I'd be really like, you don't have any? Like, not even on your butt cheek? Like, you don't have any hidden anywhere? Like, that's so weird.
Mhm.
That's like working at McDonald's but never having had nuggets? So,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the healing thing is a huge one because um, you don't even just like taking black and white work or just black work and then comparing that to color work. I mean, that's totally a different healing process
Mhm.
when you're going into the skin that many times and tearing it up with needles that many times. Your heal is totally different than if it was just simple line work. Um, we would always laugh and like in the most well-meaning way about these little, you know, fresh out of high school chicks that would come in and get like the tiniest heart, like that,
Mhm.
like right there, and be like, "Oh man, it didn't hurt at all." Like, okay, sweetheart. I mean, that's nothing compared to getting like a piece that's really big. Like, of course that doesn't feel the same as that, right? You can't compare. And when you're talking about like really working that skin
Right.
and
Yeah,
healing that skin.
when you are saturating the whole thing, like with color or even gray wash, or not gray wash, like opaques.
Hmm.
Um, when you're saturating the entire area, it's such a different heal than just a black and gray wash and or just line work, like
Hmm.
very different.
Very,
I
very
just I
different.
just got my chest done, and it's
Really?
like, yeah, like
How was
in
it?
like lots of blackout there.
Oh, is that?
It
Oh,
was
I thought it was your
intense.
shirt.
No,
Oh, did you
it's
black that all out? What?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, it
You
looks
can
really
see
good.
there a little bit of the original there, but
A little bit. I'm
yeah.
I'm unfortunately looking at a screen that's very little on my phone, but it looks good from here. How did you feel about it?
He did a good job. Um, it the first half, I was like, this is painful, but okay, you know.
Mhm.
And then the second half, I was like shaking like a leaf.
Did he
It was
start
pretty bad.
here? Did he start here and
Yeah.
work into there?
Over here, so it kind of comes up this way, armpit, and then going in.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, I never expected to be like you see those videos of like people like just like
Shaking.
like
Yeah,
and
but
like
you
I
got it packed. I've seen people just getting line work on their sternum, like
mhm,
getting like a piece like that and just the
mhm,
line work and just shaking. You
yeah.
know, they're tattooed everywhere else and like, but that sternum I've heard is super painful because it's right on that bone.
Hmm.
Did you
Yeah.
find that? Was everything else
Um,
fine but that?
I would say that the sternum was painful, but I think the worst part was more like
Mm, in
in
the
here.
there. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
did you get, is it like right in? Like right
It's
in, or does it
I
just
mean
kind of,
pretty much like
geez,
you can see like
that looks like it was an ouch.
yeah.
How did it compare to this? Like, how would you compare that? That feels like
Oh,
that'd be very sensitive too.
this was not bad at all. I
Okay.
mean, the worst part was right here where it dips
Mhm.
in there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, other than that, it was pretty easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I would imagine just even with that filling, did it feel weird? Like having
Yeah.
that packed? That would feel weird on your esophagus.
Yeah. I think he just used the. No, he probably didn't. I was thinking he just used a thicker liner, but I don't think he did.
Because it kind
Um,
of, it looks like it goes flat and then you've got the sides coming down. So I would assume, did he line it and then
it's
pack it?
just I think so. This is so old. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Okay.
Um, I think he might have lined it
And
and
then
then
pack it.
shaded it in. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't know that there's really a liner that big. I mean,
No.
they do make them
They
now
they make
bigger,
them.
but like,
I feel like you would have less control though.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I have
yeah,
seen the, so when they blacked out this area,
hmm
was he using a big, like a big
a
piece?
a big old mag. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even
Did,
remember. I think it was like a 20 something.
right.
Yeah,
Did he like line it and then pack it?
nope,
No?
just mag the whole way
Okay.
through. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. He's got some skill with like um being able to use a mag as a liner almost
Nice.
and creating
So
a straight edge.
how long has your mentor been tattooing?
13 years.
Okay. That's a
Yeah,
good amount of time. Yeah.
yeah.
And what's his specialty?
Um, I mean, like I said, everybody kind of does a lot of different things because we're a street shop, but
Yeah.
um, he really likes to do like Japanese
Okay.
type work. Yeah. Um,
Nice.
I feel like there was something else, but I'm trying like usually Japanese. He's also just really good at cover ups too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said,
Right.
very good at that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like you've gotten tattooed in some very sensitive areas. Would you like say which one was your most painful?
Probably my palm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's legit.
Um,
How old's this
yeah.
guy?
It's pretty old. Um, it's a testament to how painful it was because normally palm tattoos don't really last.
No, they don't.
But this was a one and done.
Wow.
Um, no touch ups on that. Um, I would say like over 10 years probably
Oh, nice.
old.
That's a good
Yeah.
amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I mean, too, being in the center, I feel like they wear out a lot here in those
Mm.
high traffic areas. So this is probably a good call.
Yeah, I mean, um I've not tattooed a palm yet, but my brother has a palm tattoo and it's just some like lettering, but his has not stuck. So, I mean, anything with hands is like it's so hard to make
Yeah.
sure that it sticks, but he like really like it felt like a razor blade going like into my hand.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough. I was actually supposed to get another one on the other side, but that didn't happen because I was
You're
like,
like,
that's enough.
I'll wait. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
I did want to get a palm tattoo. Just like kind of in this area, and
Mhm.
just the stars did not align, but um I really wanted to get it in red ink, and I feel like it probably wouldn't last as long, but I've had like my wedding ring tattooed in red for, well, I think I'm coming up on 19 years.
Wow.
So, and this was my first tattoo, and it's, I mean, it used to be fine line, fine line, like from back in the day. Um,
Did you have to get it gone over or did it just it lasted?
yeah,
Nice. That's
it's
good.
just I think even when I got it, it was a little bit blown out because this area is
Uh,
just skin and bones, right? Like
that's
he
the
didn't
thing is
mind.
like with fine line on the fingers, so many people want it, but it
Mhm,
is really such a fine line of like you
mhm.
blow out that skin or it doesn't hold.
Yep.
It's like there's no in between. And
Mhm.
so most of the time I usually tell people I'm like, you're getting fine line on your hands.
Yeah.
It's very likely gonna need a touch up because I'm not willing to blow out the skin. You
Yeah.
know?
And he was a friend of ours. He cuz my husband, his dad built motorcycles for 30 years in the Okanagan. And
Mhm,
so this was like a guy that his dad knew, um and had done motorcycles in they'd done motorcycles forever, and then he was into tattooing. I think he's like a metal sculpture artist, but at the time he had a shop in Penticton, and he tried to talk us out of it. And we're like, no, 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 like we really, really want this. He's like, how about a matching tattoo somewhere else? And we're like, no, 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 like we really, really, we don't care how it looks. Like we just want our fingers tattooed for our wedding rings. And man, I think I was 22, like I was young, and I was just like, this was my first tattoo. And he really tried to talk us out of it. um but at the time, like, I think he used a five liner because these were quite fine at the time. But like I was pretty bony, well, it's still pretty bony. And yeah, I feel like the black kind of went in pretty heavy. And I feel like he did the black before he did the red. And so some of the black got in the red. Um,
uh,
so I think that's what happened too. Like, so some of this is kind of murky because of that. Um, but I mean, it's 20 years old basically on my hand. It's still there. Um, and yeah, it has definitely expanded, but
mhm,
that's fine. Um, it was a. I always thought it was awesome though that we did get that done because um, our first child was born extremely premature, and so we had to, like, for the first 4 or 5 months of her life, we were in the NICU all the time, just like always washing our hands, washing, washing, washing. And if I would have definitely lost a ring during that time if I had to like deal with jewelry. I'm not good with jewelry anyway.
mhm.
So I really thought it was fortuitous. I was like, thank you for tattooing my finger because it made a huge difference, um, for me, we like got married, and a few months later we were essentially separated because I was down in the States with like they sent us to this hospital in the States, and it was this whole saga. But yeah, you just never know. So maybe say yes to that tattoo wedding ring. I don't know. But
I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of like the getting your significant other's name tattooed on you. I
Hmm.
genuinely feel like it's a curse, but
Yeah.
if people want it on their body, like that's I always say like I mean unless it's something like super offensive or
Hmm.
like, racist or something, like
Yeah.
I'm like if you want it on your body, like I'm not really gonna say no to that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel the same way. Like there's a lot of things where like I had this one lady come in to get tattooed, and she was it was like one of those things where her partner was paying for it, so she wanted it a certain way, and I was and just like asking for approval all the time, and I'm like,
Mm,
ew, like that's just not ew. To me it was like this is on that line of like I don't like this. But at the
mm,
same time, like you say, it's not my call, it's
mm,
your call. um
mm.
but yeah, it's I get what you mean, and you see those tattoos all the time getting covered up, right? The name tattoos and
Yeah, we like the joke is that like, you got to come back for the cover up later.
Mhm. I would say that the majority of like text tattoos are a future cover up, like
Mm,
the majority,
yeah.
unless it's huge.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this one is.
Oh really?
It was a quote. Yeah, you can still see the eye.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get more up here that's gonna cover that, but yeah.
Hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's a ballsy move. um Getting your chest tattooed, I feel like, yeah, that would definitely be a sensitive spot.
Hmm.
Mhm. It's
For
like
sure.
that, and like the thighs, like I feel like they're very sensitive. Are there any places that you haven't tattooed other people yet? Like, are you, is your mentor kind of keeping you to certain areas of the body?
No, I mean, he doesn't really dictate what I do at all anymore.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider like myself being still in an apprenticeship.
Right.
Um, it's more of just like I'm still the baby tattooer of everyone here, so
Hmm.
like it's amazing and awesome to have more experienced artists around to learn from.
Absolutely.
Um, so yeah, he doesn't really like he's not really ever gonna tell me like don't do that, unless it's like a really bad idea. But
Right.
um certain areas that I haven't done, like I said, palm, I haven't done. Been
Hmm.
really wanting to do, I've been trying to, one of my clients, um, who comes in, he like shaves his head bald, and I've been like putting the feelers out to him. I'm like, when are you gonna let me tattoo your head? When are you gonna let me tattoo your head? Because I really want to tattoo a head, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
What kind of things would you want to do with a head? Because that's
I don't know.
such an interesting one to work with.
I haven't gotten that far. I think it was just
Okay.
like it would be really fun to tattoo someone's noggin. I've tattooed
Yeah.
faces before, but
Okay.
not like a head, you know.
Mhm. Like where on the face? Like around here?
Cheek,
Cheek?
usually like
Mhm.
here. Somebody got a big letter here.
Okay.
I think
Interesting.
somebody else like right here.
Hmm.
Trying to remember. I
Have you
tattooed
done?
my own face here,
Oh, did you?
here,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, little dots and then little line there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell on my tiny little phone screen,
Yeah,
but
I mean
yeah.
they're intentionally very subtle.
Hmm. Yeah, that's probably a good call because everything kind of grows over time.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
have you tattooed like the neck and like fingers and stuff yet? Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
how did you find that? Like this
I
area?
did an entire neck blackout.
Whoa.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah,
Did you find it
she was a
difficult?
trooper. It was challenging because it was like, obviously you want to pack that black in there because she wanted it black. It's from like here down to like here-ish,
Wow.
kind of faded out.
Hmm.
But most of like majority of the neck was black. I actually
All the
might
way
have stopped more
around?
here.
All the way
I
around
think
or
we stopped like maybe like here.
oh wow.
Um, but yeah, it was a bit of a challenge just because that skin there is very stretchy and you want to make sure to get it nice and solid in there.
Hmm.
But also like I just felt really bad because I felt like I was torturing her. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like you asked for this, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know, right?
But she handled it so well. Like
And did you do it
insane.
in one session or did you do it in multiple sessions?
We did 2 sessions.
Two
Yeah.
sessions, yeah. So did you just like kind of do overall and then go back over and like tweak it or like how do you plan out a neck blackout?
Um, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I did it where we started up here and
Yeah.
went sort of like halfway so that like it wouldn't like it wouldn't be like she has one side or something
Yeah.
or or like just like a blob here or something. So I
Yeah.
think we did like from here and then maybe like
The
halfway
band.
down and then like I brought it down more or something.
So
I don't
like
know.
for that neck part, like how long does that take to pack into that? Because it's kind of like it can be quite gizzardy kind of skin,
Hmm.
depending on the person.
Yeah. I think in total it took us four 4 hours ish, 4 or 5
Okay.
hours maybe.
Oh wow.
Um Also at that time like I was still a bit newer, so
Hmm.
I think I would be faster at it now with
Yeah.
packing in black. I've learned a lot of more about packing in black. I kind of like it kind of sucks because it's so mundane, but but I've learned how to do it a bit faster now. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
but
and
yeah,
I mean, that's such an essential thing, though, learning how to pack in
mhm.
something like black. Like, you probably do. Do you find you do a lot of black work?
Yeah. But I mean, like for my type of work generally, I mean when it's like smaller areas of packing in black, like I don't it's just like when it's like these big swaths of packing in black, I
Hmm.
think it's more of just like it's a mental struggle for me to like sit there and just be like I'm just like doing the same thing, just only black in my eyes, just for hours, you know? Like,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
tricky. Like, you can think that you've packed it in, and then you
Hmm.
clean the area, and you're like, ah, no, it's not in, and
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I had this one client, a lovely lady, but she had an iron deficiency, like a severe iron deficiency. And it didn't matter how much I packed, the skin would just pour blood and it would
Wow.
just bleed the pigment out. And and it was immediate. It wasn't like, well, you worked it for a little bit and it bled at near the end.
Hmm.
It was immediate. As soon as you touched the skin, it was just like
Wow.
have you encountered people with like health issues like that it made it difficult for you to work?
Um, Not that I was like I wasn't aware of their health issue,
Hmm.
but I can like definitely tell when like something's happening.
Right.
Um, because even like I think a really good like reminder of this for tattoo artists is like if you're doing um like if you ever do like an event or something where you're like back to back tattooing like flash pieces or something.
Yeah.
So it's all like generally the same thing. Like most of my flashes like 2 inches, only black, basic kind of line work. Like you're doing a very similar, if not the same, tattoo on multiple people.
Right.
But and sometimes in like on the same parts of the body too.
Hmm.
But just the way that like everybody's skin is different in terms of like how well it's taking the ink or like how I feel like if I need to move slower or if I need to up my voltage or um if I need to be more delicate, people with thinner skin, you want to like slow down your machine and be a little bit more delicate. Um so yeah, I think like seeing back to back just like so close many people and like just seeing like how different a tattoo can go into different skin, and there can be a lot of factors that affect that. It can be health related in terms of like having a condition. It
Hmm.
could be medication. It could be how
Hmm.
much water you drink, how much, if you lotion your body or not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. If you exfoliate or not, that's a
Mhm.
big one that
Yeah.
I don't, you don't realize until you are seeing people's skin every day. Like
Hmm.
cleaning off that dead skin before you're getting tattooed makes a huge difference in how your tattoo comes out.
Hmm.
Are
Definitely.
there are there things that you tell people before they get tattooed that you wish everyone would do?
Um, I think my biggest thing is like make sure you eat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially if you're getting a big tattoo,
Yeah.
because like I just think a lot of people like your energy can really deplete if you start to get hungry or if you just haven't eaten.
Mhm.
Um, More likely to pass out.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so I think that's a major thing. I generally don't tell people to exfoliate because I feel like
Hmm.
maybe some people would actually do that, but I feel like generally people are not gonna do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, they're
Like,
not. No.
like
No, that's
I
something
mean, and
that
I don't blame
I
them.
do
Like,
for
I
myself,
wouldn't do
but
it either.
yeah.
Like I don't really like scrub my skin that way.
Hmm.
For prior to tattoos or anything, but.
Hmm. I
Uh,
I mean I do. Maybe that's like just me being a neurotic person, but like, and I don't do it crazy, but like I'll get like a scrub brush and like brush my skin off and like
yeah.
make sure that it's like make sure I've been drinking lots of water in that week prior.
Mhm.
But like I am neurotic and ridiculous about 100% of the things that I do. So I don't expect everyone to be like that. Maybe if I was still in my 20s, I would be like, "What are you doing?" Like, but like, yeah, that's just me. But yeah, definitely eating is a big one. Have you
Yeah.
done some big pieces where people have not eaten and fainted?
Not fainted, but I've definitely done big pieces where people haven't eaten and like I can tell that they'd be able to like last longer with the tattoo had they eaten. It's not
Right.
necessarily about their pain tolerance, but more about they're starving and they're
Right.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
um, or sometimes it really is about like that just energy level. Food is fuel, so like
Mm.
when you haven't eaten and it takes like as much as you might think like sitting and getting a tattoo doesn't take work, it does take work because
It
you have to
does.
sit still and you have to endure a bunch of pain. Your
Mhm.
body's going through a lot, so
Mhm.
make sure to feed it before. before you do that, and
Yeah.
hydrate. Yeah.
I think it's I think it's a lot closer to a surgical procedure than people kind of realize. They think, "Oh, I'm going to get something cool," but
Mm-hmm.
your body is going through so much and
Mm-hmm.
we don't give it credit. It's really it's doing a lot of things, and
Mm-hmm.
your tattoo is becoming part of your immune system, a part of your body is doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
um so it is really really fascinating. That was something that I didn't fully understand until I'd been tattooed a few times, and I was like, okay. Yeah, especially if you're tattooing yourself, you don't want to get the shakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. um I don't know, there was a comment and for whatever reason I can't see it. Oh, 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 this is my sister-in-law. Um, yeah. Hi, Angel. My sister-in-law, she has a YouTube channel too. She does motorcycle stuff. So
Cool.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, she's someone who doesn't have any tattoos, I think.
Well, you're gonna have to change that.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't tattooed in a long time, so I feel like I really would need some practice before I
Mm.
went back into it. I
You're
feel
not
like
in
that.
shop anymore?
No, I'm not. I so there's yeah. I'm just kind of on a break right now, and I think that December, January kind of time, it was very hard to get clients. That's what I was finding anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Canada, we're kind of going through a recession right now too. And so there was a lot of people that were like, well, I did dozens of consultations and they're like, oh, yeah, maybe in a few months, maybe in a few months, maybe in a few months. And it was just like such a lull. And the shop was going through some changes and they're like, well, we'll just put your apprenticeship on hold for now because we need to figure out our stuff. And I was like, okay, cool, I understand. So yeah, I'm just kind of on a break right now, but I haven't touched my machine in like since January. So it's been a little while.
Well,
Yeah.
there's always time.
Yeah. I have to clean up my space and like get it set up though. And that's always like, I don't know. I'm terrible with organizing. I don't know about you. But
Yeah, I mean, in here it's very organized, but my
mhm.
house is a totally different story.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of just like doing a ton of painting commissions,
Mhm.
and I never fully set this studio up. So there's things that I'm still looking for, like hardware to mount things, and I just haven't found these things. So it is quite the mess right now. And I find it's hard to get a space to be multi-use. Do
Mhm.
you have like a dedicated space for your painting?
Um, yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
I have a so we recently kind of moved things. I was in like what would be our dining room and spare room upstairs,
Okay.
but now we just moved it to the spare room upstairs. So I'm
Nice.
not taking over the whole house anymore.
And then do you have are you keeping it to smaller works right now, or do you do bigger works, or what's your preference?
I do bigger pieces on occasion, but it's much more rare. So most of my work is pretty small.
Hmm.
Usually under 8 by 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find a lot of figurative artists tend to stay smaller. Um, I find once you scale things up, it's like I want to put so much detail into that, but it doesn't make it better. I don't know if you do you have that struggle once you scale up, like you feel like you got to put more into it.
Um, I don't know. It's been a long time since I scaled up. Um, I feel like for me, sometimes a big piece can take just as long as a small little piece.
Mm,
But I like painting small because it's just manageable.
yeah.
Like, it's just like I can hold it in my hand and paint
Hmm.
it. I can, if I want to paint on the couch that day, I could do that instead of like having this big easel to work from. Also, I think from like a selling standpoint, sometimes it's nicer to have smaller pieces just because sometimes they can be a little bit more affordable. And then um, also just people having space for stuff. Like
Yeah.
everybody has space for a little
A
one
little
inch painting.
portrait. Yeah. Yeah, man. Everyone should have space for that. I want to, at some point, I want to put a gallery wall in my house that's just like packed with ornate frames. I haven't, I haven't done that yet, but that's the goal one day. Would you say that like maximalist sort of thing is kind of your jam, or what would
Oh
you?
yeah,
Yeah,
I am for sure a maximalist.
yeah,
It's funny that you mentioned that. So I helped curate a show at the museum that I work at, and
nice.
it was all influenced by the Paris Salon. So I don't know if you
Okay,
remember
yeah.
like pictures of like in the Paris Salon. It was literally like they were on top of each other.
Uh-huh.
Um, the exhibit in the museum isn't quite like that. There's some space, but it
Hmm.
is more of that salon style.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, at home it's just chaos. That's what it is. Because I collect everything. I like collect antiques and oddities and
Hmm.
all sorts of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
it's a bunch of that everywhere.
Do you have like a massive frame collection? Because I've noticed you
Yes.
got some sick frames for your work.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do have a massive frame collection. It takes
I
over my whole
love it.
garage.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay. So big frames or little frames?
I have a decent amount of big frames, but most of them are like 11 by 14 or under.
That's no, that's
Yeah.
a good size. That's a
Yeah.
good size. I I had to pull back on the collecting because the organizing isn't there. That's like when I can get that under control, then maybe I can do other things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
That
love the old frames.
my partner encourages me to also organize, but
Hmm.
executing that is another thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that way for sure. And that was one thing I like working in like so the pottery shop is um very streamlined. And
Hmm.
when I go there I'm like, yes, this is what I need to do with my studio. And that, or when I was in the tattoo shop, it was like, yes, I need to like set my and I get in it and I'm like, I can't do it.
Hmm.
I don't know. I
It's
don't know what
overwhelming.
it
Yeah.
is overwhelming. I need help. I need somebody to do it for me.
I know, same.
Yeah.
I
I'm
was like,
just
I should just hire somebody to do this so that I don't have to.
yeah. I know. I always think that, and then I'm like, I don't know who would you hire? Like you'd
Right.
have to hire somebody that understood your workflow. And
Hmm.
it's like nobody does. I don't even understand my work. What
Right.
would work best for me? Like I don't know.
Right.
That's the hardest part. Yeah. Well, um, what do you have coming up that we should be looking forward to? Because you have some shows
Um,
coming up, right?
yeah, so I'm in Being Gallery's small work show that opens
Yes.
in August. I forget
Right
the
on.
actual date, but that's in Melbourne, Australia, or Melbourne,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Yeah.
They're gonna hate me now. I
Oh
don't know how
no.
to saying Melbourne wrong. Like an American anyway. Um, Australia. So yeah, there's that one.
Nice.
And then I also have a show coming up with Obsidian Gallery in the fall. I believe it's in September.
Right
I
on.
have the memory of a goldfish, so
Mm-hmm.
um, remembering actual dates for things
That's okay. I
can't
can
pull that off the
I
top of my
identify
head.
with that. I completely. It's like names and dates. No,
Yeah,
I need I need it written down for me.
right.
Um, but is there a place that you would like people to find all this information from? What you're going to be up to in the next little while? Your Instagram or your website or where? What would you prefer?
Yeah, mostly I mostly direct people to Instagram for painting and for tattooing, because I give Instagram a little more love than I do like Facebook and TikTok, but
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and TikTok are the other places. On
Hmm.
Instagram, my painting Instagram is Sonia Vasquez Art, and then my tattoo Instagram is Sonia Vasquez Tattoos. On TikTok, Sonia Vasquez Tattoos. I
Hmm.
do have a painting one too, but I don't really post much anymore on that. Um, and then Facebook, I also have a specific tattoo and painting page.
Hmm.
A little bit more active on the tattoo one, but
Hmm.
Facebook is like, eh.
Necessity.
Yeah,
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 I found Facebook pages were hard to get engagement on.
yeah, very much
Hmm.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I do have a page too, but I don't really use it. I find
Mhm.
like the personal ones tend to reach people better. I don't know if you
Yeah.
found that too.
Well, I mean, part of the reason why I did that is because I wanted to have like a separate one was just because I didn't want like everybody adding me on my personal Facebook. I like to be somewhat of a private person, so
Hmm.
I like want to reserve some of that for, people that I actually like know, because
Yeah.
there'll be a lot of people that will add me that I think are adding me for tattoo reasons, but
Hmm.
I've never talked to them before.
Yeah.
So the other page was a way for me to like give that information to people without being in my personal Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's a hard one
Yeah.
to keep everything kind of separate, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I hope everyone will go and check out your work, um, whether it be your ink or your paint. Go and check out Sonia's work, and follow her on the gram or wherever it's convenient. But thanks for coming on today and chatting, and it was really fun. I think you're the
Yeah.
first and tattoo artist and painter I've had the chance to talk to. So that was it's really cool hearing your perspective because you have like experience in all those realms.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it was awesome. I'm always down to talk about like two of my favorite things, so.
Right? I know. I'm always like, I love talking about paint nerd stuff
Mhm.
because that's like my favorite subject too. So,
Right. Just nerding out on all of it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to check out those inks. I have heard of Empire. I did
Mhm.
not know that they were named for their pigment colors, though. That's very cool and something
Mhm.
that I was like, I don't know why this doesn't exist. So I'm glad
Mhm.
it does exist.
Mhm.
That's comforting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Hopefully they're in Canada. I think they are. I
They
think you can
probably at
order
least
most
ship
of
to
them.
Canada,
Probably.
I would
Yeah.
assume. Yeah.
Yeah. I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good too for me because I do want to get back into tattooing. Um, it's but I find like you have to be so ballsy to go and put artwork on somebody else. You know, like you have to have so much self-confidence to go and do that. And
I mean,
yeah,
there's still days where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and like don't have the confidence, but then it turns out fine. Is it's like,
yeah.
you kind of get in your own head sometimes, but
Hmm.
um yeah, I mean, like there's times where I've been like really excited about a tattoo that I really want to do, and but then like it comes the day that I'm gonna do it and I'm like, crap, like I need to do really good on this tattoo because like it's something I really want to do, and so now I'm a little scared that I'm not gonna do good, you know?
Yeah, totally. Oh, and it's I find it so different than painting too because you can just go and paint and like your thing that you're painting on doesn't talk to you.
Hmm.
You know, it doesn't move. It's not breathing. It's not in pain. You know, like that
Hmm.
aspect too is so different
Right.
than any other art form. Giving people that like experience and being
Right.
like, yeah, that's
Right.
like a whole different, that's a whole different skill set.
For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, um, thank you for coming on. I have to run to the bathroom. Like, so, but it was a pleasure talking to you,
You
and
too.
good luck with all of your ventures.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk later.
All right.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.